kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Welcome everybody to Sim Racing Media, home tonight once again to the Western States Racing League. I am Mike Damoni, joined up in the booth as always with Mac Nelson. Mac, how's it going tonight, man?
Hey, Mike, it's going good, and yeah, I'm just excited to be able to call another week of the WSRL here, and on a track that I think is really great for league racing, and really great just on the service as a whole. So I think it's going to be an exciting night.
Yeah, definitely. These drivers of the WSRL Racing League here have got to have short memories. It was not a race they wanted to put on last week. Lyle Swearingen was able to bring home the win. Andrew Schulte in second, Mike Fisher third. But it was a race that is unusually plagued with caution. So they head from Chicagoland in that caution-filled race to Pocono and look to, like I said, have that short memory, bounce back here, and put on a great show that we are used to seeing. Everybody's allowed one little mistake race, I'd call it, but these guys definitely in practice have been throwing down some laps. Justin Michael fastest in practice, Mike Fisher second fastest. I mean, these guys definitely put in the work as usual.
Yeah, and I just think that with the race going as bad as it did last week, these drivers are still very good, and they're still going to be very confident. So ideally, we're going to see some real nice wheel-to-wheel racing here, and drivers just being a little more cautious with all of the room that they give, because heading into that second corner at the top of your screen there, that corner is going to be the corner that you see overtakes the most. It is, the highest speed corner on the track of the three. So I think we're going to see a lot of wheel-to-wheel racing.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. Wheel to wheel is something that we're going to look forward to. These guys, we're going to put down their qualifying times. JTW, first one out on track, almost as usual. We'll see how fast he's able to set the mark here. Justin Michael out on track as well. Brian Barnes, Carl Burke, Christian Bishop. I mean, for a race that we had last week, you would think coming to Pocono we'd have a little dip in numbers. Nope, these guys are out in full force. And we got almost a full field again of 40 drivers here.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised that the server isn't completely full. We saw that the past 3 weeks, I believe, in this league, and yeah, these guys, they just show up every week. I mean, if you look here at the Tuesday series standings that you can find on WSRLracing.com, there are currently 60 drivers that have been enrolled this season, meaning they have done at least one race here with the WSRL. So there are 20 drivers, give or take, every week that aren't even getting a chance to race because the league is so popular.
Yeah, definitely something to look out for. See if anybody's going to get close here. Looks like Justin T. Wilkinson's going to be the first one to lay down a qualifying lap. I mean, it is the tricky triangle, but these guys have definitely shown some speed here. And you see JTW get clear out to that outside wall, and if these tires start to wear, that is where you're going to see a lot of guys get closer and closer to that outside wall. 55.08 for Wilkinson there.
Yeah, I agree. And, here at Pocono, you're probably going to have a lap or two where you might brush up against one of those walls, whether it be outside of turn 2 or outside of turn 3 heading to the start finish. But the thing is, you can do it a couple of times and you're going to be fine. But if you make a habit out of brushing your right rear against that wall, you're going to lose some aero speed. And yeah, this track is all aerodynamics. It's all pulling in the draft, getting as much out of your car as possible. And that air resistance can really slow you down.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen some of these guys in these Xfinity cars here almost try and, I'll call it, drift the corner in practice and not really lose too much speed. Not that that's the way you want to get around here, but if you start to lose it, it just shows that you can hold on. Justin Michael with the 54.66. Brian Barnes up there with the 54.81. Christian Bishop a 54.93.
Christian Bishop is an amazing underdog pick. If you wanted to go with a winner's pick here tonight, if there was a WSRL fantasy league, I would want Christian Bishop on my squad, because these weird tracks, these unconventional, we've got here at Pocono, another track would be, like the road courses, Mosport, Sonoma, Watkins Glen. Christian Bishop seems to thrive at these tracks. So if you wanted to make a pick that's going to shock value everybody here, you go with Christian Bishop, and you're probably not that bad off.
Yeah, definitely. He is one of the guys to watch out for. He is known for his road course prowess, but Pocono seems to be, I don't know what it is about Pocono, but it seems to be one of the tracks where the guys who run road courses really well just seem to find their way towards the front.
Yeah, and I think it's just all because of those high-speed corners that you have in, turns 1 and 2. And it's something about it. Something about coming into that corner. You have to trail brake a little as well. Getting jumbled on my words, but Yeah, you've got to trail brake a little bit into those corners, and I think the road course guys that, trail brake in every single corner of every single road course nearly, they're going to excel at that because they're going to be able to feel the rotation of that car through that brake pedal just a little better than these, oval main guys are.
Yeah, definitely. Mike Fisher threw down a 54.68. Last week's winner, Lyle Swearingen, a 54.94, good enough for sixth. Like we got about 26 guys that have put down a qualifying run here. Ross Rollins, first lap of 56.60, so he'll definitely look to improve that second time around.
Yeah, these guys putting in really good laps here, and to be honest with you, probably a little faster than I would have intended. I thought it was going to be around a 55-second lap time, but these guys are shooting 54.6s like it's nothing, so, really quick out of them. Andrew Schulte with a 54.89. That gets him provisional P5 right now.
Yeah, Andrew Schulte up there, P5. I mean, just looking through the times here, I mean, it's not that that big of a gap from the pole to even back to what 10th, 11th place. I mean, it's less than 0.4 of a second. Ooh, Andrew Schulte got into the wall and is loose and drifting all over the place, trying to have a little fun after his lap won't count. But
okay, Andrew, I see you. Cue the Tokyo Drift music. That was incredible.
Wayne Fleet out on track now. Yeah, I saw Andrew get into that outside wall, and then he just decided to let loose and have a little fun there. Wayne Fleet coming across on his, that was his out lap. Ryan Steele also trying to get his out lap done. We'll see how many of these drivers got in practice, threw down some practice laps, and then decided not to get on track. We've seen it a couple times here. Just trying to basically start and park. Wayne Fleet coming down. Backstretch there. I want to call it the backstretch. Just coming into turn 2 now.
Yeah, and he got a really good run out of turn 2, or what so it looked like to me. So I'm going to be really surprised to see what he actually runs. A little bit of neutral slide there into the Apex 3. And unfortunately, I must have missed something going into turn 1, because that was a 56.2, but his turn 2 and 3 looked incredible.
Yeah, he didn't slide up the rack like we've seen a lot of guys come out of turn 3 and get so close to that wall. He was almost middle of the corner, so maybe he slowed down a little bit too much. But yeah, even that right there looks like he's carrying quite a bit of speed through there. Carl Burke on track as well. Ryan Steele about halfway through his first lap. See what happens here with Steele. Up high, almost into that wall. Wayne Fleet went a little bit faster, 55.72. Ryan Steele's first lap jumps him up to P19, 55.17. And if he hurries, he'll be able to get a second lap in. That will probably be everybody who elects to throw down a lap time, which is 32 qualified drivers. We've got 6 that have not put on a qualifying time. We'll see if they jump in their cars when we get to the grid, but that's Anthony Reiner, Alan Bergen, Dennis Fuson, Keith Kelman, Angelo Espo, and Fred Williams. All those guys I saw run laps in practice, so we'll see if they just want to start at the back of the field and see what happens in front of them. Ryan's still going to come across the start-finish line with about 10 seconds left here. Up a little bit. Goes from 19th to 17th with a 55.11. But
yeah, not bad out of Ryan Steele.
But yeah, that will pretty much do it here for qualifying as I finishing up. We'll jump over to the race session here. We are in for 68 laps around Pocono. Uh, 68 laps, 100 minutes, 4 tire sets, 3 in the pits, 1 on the car, 1 fast repair, 100% fuel. So we will see where these guys all end up once they get on the track and rolling. Let's go ahead and see if these guys are on the track. Let's see if we can go through. Come on. Go through the grid here. Oh. Back to the beginning here. Justin Michael on the pole, a 54.661. Mike Fisher will start to his outside. Row 2, Brian Barnes and Butch Davis. Andrew Schulte and Christian Bishop in row 3. Row 4 is Lyle Swearingen and Chris Samard. Bob Beltrami and Jeff Hollingsworth round out row 5. Row 6 is Michael Melfeld Jr. and JTW. Row 7, William Fletcher and Chad Stearns. Wayne Hutchinson and Jeff Schmeier in row 8. And we got Ryan Steele and, how did you say his name last week? I know he corrected us.
Widener.
Widener, right?
Yes, Widener.
Widener. Let me go back to Charles Woods and Ross Rollins in row 10. Row 11 is Chad Simpson, Benjamin Wirt. Row 12, David Weaver and Paul Krumrei. Carl Burke and Dan Brazington make up row 13. Row 14, Paul Hoffman and Wayne Fleet. David Wood and Earl Weaver, row 15. Row 16, Dustin Burns and Barry Phil. Keith Kelman jumps in the race session, as does Angelo Espo, and Dennis Fuson will start shotgun on the field as Fred Williams, Anthony Bergen, and Alan Bergen and Anthony Reiner all are not on track right at the moment, so they will get on the track and ready to roll.
I don't know. I don't know, Mike. I just got a feeling that something big is going to happen on this turn, or on this lap 1. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I just feel something big coming.
Yeah, watch these guys throw down some of the best racing we've seen. I imagine that is exactly what we're going to see when they drop the green flag. It wouldn't surprise me if we see some 3-wide action and everybody staying off of each other and making it real close door to door for a lot of this race.
Yeah, you know, that's the ideal setup for these races. And, you know, unfortunately, last week we did not entirely see that. So, you know, can they come back with a bang? Can they provide? Can they bring the fire racing that we are used to?
Yeah, let's see what happens with Justin Michael and Mike Fisher on the front row. See how these guys get down here at Pocono. Justin Michael gets that restart zone. Green flag waves. And he is off and away. Mike Fisher stays in the outside row. Justin Michael slides up in front of him. And here we go. Down through turn 1. You can see him kind of snaking back in the back of the field.
Oh.
3 wide. Brian Barnes checks it up and is going backwards in a hurry. Well, I said 3 wide, but that's not exactly what I meant.
Yeah, you know, it almost was something big in the negative fashion, as Brian Barnes almost could not keep a hold of it going into turn 1, but no harm, no foul. He's back a good few positions, but hey, we stay green. Nobody's hurt.
And nobody's hurt, and it's 1 lap here. Lap 1. You got plenty of time.
Very, very much so. Plenty of time.
Jeff Hollinsworth working his way past Bob Beltrami. Bob's down on the inside. See how these guys kind of work their way through this track. You can see, looks like that's Jeff Schmeier was clear up high, almost up against the wall, coming through turn 1 there. Chad Stearns, haven't seen him in a few weeks, I don't believe. Back on track.
Yeah, good to see him. I can't remember what race it was exactly, but he was fighting for the lead in, I think, a couple of races already this season, so good to see him on track. I agree.
It looks like we got a couple of these guys here having almost the same paint scheme.
Christian Bishop, that road course guy, he is up into P2, ran the fastest lap of the race last lap. I know it's only, lap 2, but he is showing pace among the field.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's down on the inside, making it work, and he has Mike Fisher behind him. Butch Davis was able to take the lead after, looks like Justin Michael just kind of fading back just a little bit, gets by his racing teammate Andrew Schulte. Gonna try and slide in front of Chris Dumard and get behind Schulte there.
Yeah, and Chris Simard currently second in the point standing, only behind the guy 2 cars ahead of him, Andrew Schulte. So, or 1 car now. But yeah, Chris Simard is, legendary on the racetrack. It just seems like when he is not in the wrong place at the wrong time, then he is in the right place at the right time. There is no in between for this guy. This guy is either contending for the lead or something terrible has happened to him and he's in the back of the pack. But, it's granted him 4 top 5s and 5 top 10s this season out of 6 races. So he's clearly doing something right on the decision-making end.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, all these guys battling right around here. Justin Michael, he missed a week, so that's why he's a little bit further down in the standings. Not too far back, but he's only got 5 races counted. I mean, they do have several drop weeks as they go through this 20 race season here. We are in the Xfinity cars tonight and next week, and then they'll take a week off for Labor Day and jump into Road America in the next gen. So that'll be their first next gen experience here on Sim Racing Media. They usually run that, I believe, on Friday nights.
Yeah, and how wild is it? The first race of the season in the next gen cars is going to be on a road course. So will that help a lot of the grid or will it hurt a lot of the grid? You'll just have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Christian Bishop out front now, though. And he's looks like he's slowly pulling away from Butch Davis there. Butch Davis is battling Mike Fisher back here in second. Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael 4th and 5th.
Yeah, and if you're Christian Bishop right now, you are really enjoying the fight going down between Butch Davis and Mike Fisher, because all that's doing is just giving you room to extend the lead, but it actually appears that Butch Davis is actually catching Christian Bishop.
Yeah, it looks like he might have just made a little mistake, and now he is back on the hunt. As we were looking back there, looks like Widener, Rollins, and Beltrami there were all kind of battling each other, bouncing around inside, outside, and trying to make hay pretty early here in this run. This is lap 6 here.
Yeah, and Ross Rawlings, he has won this season, Mike. I believe it was at the season opener in Kentucky that he won, if I'm not mistaken. And he unfortunately hasn't been able to return to victory lane. He does have 3 top 5s to his name, though, so that's good. He is running consistent this season. However, he is currently down a race on everybody else, so that does put him in P14 in the championship standings.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about it with Justin Michael. Ross Rollins is kind of in the same boat. Ross Rollins won the season opener at Kentucky. Justin Michael won Dover in Indianapolis. So, but they are missing a race. So when you look at the standings, it doesn't have it updated the way most people see it as. They do have, I believe they get 3 drop weeks, so it's plenty of time to figure out what races are bad and drop, and if you're going to miss a couple weeks here and there, especially coming into the holidays. Usually they try and take off weeks, but if you happen to miss a week, it's just there to give you a little help, and that way you can still contend for a championship.
Yeah, and what a good idea that is, because, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't believe anybody in the WSRL is necessarily getting paid to sim race. So, we got lives, man. We got lives outside. We can't just be on the sim every day, all day. We wish we could, but, people got to go to work. People got to live lives and stuff. So the idea of drop weeks for these sim racing leagues is just really, really good, and it's nothing but a help.
Yeah, definitely been riding on board here with Beltrami. He is all over that back bumper of that 95 machine. Dives down to the inside. We're going to see if he can make this pass. Coming into turn 1. It looks like
getting
he will.
Just a little bit of understeer, though. Maybe took the corner just a little too fast. But, yeah, like you said, I believe he gets the overtake done. Well done, Bob Beltrami.
Ross Rollins is going to try and make the pass down the straightaway. Looks like he'll complete it pretty much before they get into turn 2 there. Widener's not exactly loving this little bit of free fall he has here. He's still up 4 spots from where he started. Biggest mover of the race is clear back here in 27th in that number 11 Chevy, and that's Dennis Busan. Dennis put in tons of lap on practice and decided to forego qualifying. So he started towards the back of the field, but he is slowly moving up. He got around 9 drivers, so he pretty much started dead last almost, because he's up to 27th right now.
Yeah, and well done to Dennis Busan, someone who we usually see contending for, a top 12, top 13 in that kind of mid-pack area. But I'm sure that there is going to be a couple of nights this season where he is just locked in and he is focused and he is really in tune with his car, and might be able to see him contending for a top 5.
Yeah, definitely will. Look, have you ran a lot of races here in the Xfinity car?
I have ran, I would probably say over the years, probably 10 to 15. So I'm not too experienced in it, but I know it a little bit.
Well, just thinking about fuel strategy here with 64 laps. Is it going to be beneficial to try and one-stop the race, or do you think tires play a little bit more important role than that?
I think... Oh, yeah, that's actually a really good question, because on one hand, as your car gets lighter, extracting the fuel out of the car, your car is going to get lighter. You're not going to have to ask as much from your tires when it comes to grip. So tire fall off should actually do sort of a reverse V in degradation. So your tires are going to wear a lot at the start of the race, but as you get later on into that run and as the fuel is coming out of your car, you're going to actually lose a little bit of less grip per lap in these cars. But with that being said, by the time you really get to a good spot where you might be advantageous to not have a full car, then that is when your tires are going to start to go. So you almost want to sync them up. I think the one stop is going to be important in this race. I think it's going to be the primary strategy that these drivers use. I would probably say it's going to be around, a split in half kind of race. Pit on lap 31, 32, or 33. I would say it's probably going to be the meta, so to say. But yeah, if it was a longer race, I would say the tire versus fuel consumption would be a lot more important. But with it only being 64 laps, I feel like you just kind of synchronize it up.
That's kind of what I was thinking is you're going to wind up wanting to be basically pitting halfway. That way you kind of know what you have in the first half and can figure it out on the second half. But I didn't know if there was any benefit to trying to play little mind games here. But I'm sure with the guys here at the WSRL, that's what's gonna happen is everybody's gonna come down about the same time as Jeff Schmeier's getting passed here by Chad Stearns.
Yeah, and typically what we see in this league is 2 or 3, mainly 2, I'd say, that's the strategy. We have the guys like Ryan Steele, like Wayne Hutchison, like Charlie Widener, actually, who like to really push the car for as long as possible. And then we have others like Andrew Schulte, Justin Michael, Mike Fisher, Paul Krummery is one of those guys. They like to come in as soon as possible and get back out on track on fresh tires before anybody else so they can make up the most amount of track room.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen that several weeks, especially at different racetracks, or the shorter racetracks, I guess, more so. But definitely looking forward to the rest of this season, just looking down through it. Got Watkins Glen, the Super Speedway at Nashville, Darlington, Richmond in Xfinity, Bristol and Next Gen. So those 2 races will be kind of fun in November. And these guys definitely set up the schedule, and it's going to be a blast as we work our way through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the season schedule for this year is a little bit more entertaining, honestly, than season 48's schedule. And I'm really, really excited to see Watkins Glen, and I'm excited to see Road America. Now, I might be biased because I am sort of a road course guy, but seeing these NASCARs kind of dissect a road course in a very unusual manner, because they have virtually no downforce compared to road cars. So the point at which you brake, the point at which you turn in, how much throttle you can have mid-corner, all that stuff is just so different from any road car that I've ever driven on the service. It's really, really cool to see these guys work a car like this that's not meant to be on road courses, but still make it work.
Yeah, definitely. And as we say that, it looks like Carl Burke is headed to pit lane. I don't know. Angelo Espel also in pit lane. See what's going on with those guys. Looks like Carl Burke he jumped to his pit box, so must have had a little damage there. Looks like Angelo Espel called it a night after completing 12.99 laps.
So close to 13. So close.
His pit box must have been right before the start-finish line.
Yep.
These guys are racing almost all over the track. You see JTW down to the inside of Jeff Hollingsworth there. We got Lyle Swearingen making a move. Oh, never mind. Michael Melfelt was making a move on Lyle Swearingen. These guys are racing side by side almost all over the track, passing each other. They're putting on a heck of a show and are definitely putting the good name of the Western States Racing League on full display tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, when it comes to Pocono, it's really just a one-line dominant track. You know, the only way you're overtaking is if you can get a run on the straight, squeeze up on the inside, or if the person you're trying to overtake just makes a mistake in the corner. There's really no other way to overtake here at this track, so it races like a road course a lot in that manner, because when you drive a road course, there's one good racing line on every single track. There is no option. So, you know, you've just got to kind of wait, make your runs on the straights before a corner, or you wait for your opponent to make a mistake and you go on the inside of them. So
Yeah.
I think that's why guys like Christian Bishop are really good at tracks like this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see Justin Michael get down to the inside of Mike Fisher, force him to run the non-preferred line and take advantage. Now Andrew Schulte did just the opposite. He went high and kind of squeezed between the wall and Mike Fisher there, and he is still battling down that high side.
Yeah, Andrew Schulte's got a lot of talent, man. If there's anybody I'd pick on this grid to, you know, make a pass around the outside and make a, you know, really hard overtake, it would be him. I mean, he's the championship leader for a reason. And, you know, he just provides pinpoint driving and just precise accuracy with where he puts his car every single night.
Yeah, definitely. We were kind of joking about it with him, you know, on his top fives. He's got 5 of 6. He's got 6 of 6 top 10s this season. Yeah. And from his debut, he's only been out of the top 5 once. So, I mean, it's a heck of a run. He's definitely one of the guys that everybody has to look out for if they want to come and win this championship.
Yeah, and, you know, you see it. You know, there was a 3-way running last season with Ryan Steele, Jeff Schmeier, and Jeff Hollingsworth down to the championship race, you know, on who was going to take the season title. But right now, it's Andrew Schulte and Chris Simard, and that's about it. I mean, like you said, you know, drop weeks are going to be a thing, and, you know, Justin Michael's going to be up there. Same with Ross Rawlings, more than likely. But as of right now, it is a really dominant showing between Andrew Schulte and Chris Simard.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking at it, and the top 2 are separated by 10 points. But back to the next one after Chris Simard is 22. So, I mean, it's a pretty big gap when you think about it. And as we're talking about that, Christian Bishop gets passed by Justin Michael and Andrew Schulte down on the inside. They just almost passed him. I'd say almost like he was standing still, but like I said, when they were coming through on lap 1 and Justin Michael was kind of fading back a little ways, he found his racing partner. And as we're looking at that, Lyle Swearingen is in pit lane. Doesn't look like any damage. Looks like it is just a scheduled pit stop.
Oh, wow. Well, I must have gotten my prediction all wrong. I thought it was going to be, you know, a cut in half kind of race, but Lyle Swearingen showing me that I must not know what I'm talking about. Because, yeah, he has decided to pit in on lap 21.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking it'd be about halfway, you know, maybe a little over halfway just in case. Chris Simard in pit lane as well, so it must be a lot closer to the 25 lap mark as far as fuel goes, but I thought they could get a little further than that. What do we know?
Yeah, you know, what do we know?
I mean, maybe they're short pitting and they have plenty of fuel for the second half of the race.
Yeah, I mean, that could also be a thing, but, you know, for the most part, I just honestly thought that it was going to be a 31, 32 lap fuel run, but I am clearly being shown wrong here. But also, tire saving is a big deal here. And so maybe the problem is these guys that are pitting now did not do that. And the likes of Justin Michael and Andrew Schulta were saving the first 20 laps. That's why they're so far ahead of everyone now.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, even Christian Bishop isn't losing that much time to him. I mean, the fall off between, let's say, Justin Michael's best time, which is a 55:41, and his last lap time of 56:80, not really that much. Whereas Christian Bishop's best time was a 54:99, and last time by was a 56:93. So that's quite a bit of fall off there. So maybe it is the guys that kind of burned up their tires, and they're, going back to what my original question to you was: are tires or fuel more important? So we'll see what happens here if these leaders can stay out, or if they're going to try and come to pit sometime pretty quick here.
Yeah, my reputation is on the line here, so I really need Justin Michael and Andrew Schulta to try to make it to lap like 31. I'm counting on you, boys.
Andrew Schulta makes a pass on Justin Michael, gonna try and get a point for leading the lap.
Yeah, that looked pretty planned too between Andrew Schulta and Justin Michael. Justin Michael saying, "You know what? Here, you can have it now." Has Andrew Schulta is going to run extremely low here, maybe trying to break the draft on old teammate. I don't know. I think they're kind of just goofing off right now. I don't really know. Andrew Schulta with a nice controlled slide there heading out of turn 2, and that's how you're going to maximize your time on these used tires. You got to have that neutral slide into that corner.
They can see him do it right there. I mean, it's got to be a tire issue for the guys who hit pit lane. But, yeah, if you're Andrew Schulta, Justin Michael, you want to make it to that 30 lap window there.
Yeah, that would definitely be nice.
Brian Barnes in, Dan Brazington in. I don't know. It's going to be close.
Yeah, Chris Simard here on the fresh tires has gone purple with a 54.85. So he is cooking right now.
It looks like Justin Michael got a little loose almost into that outside wall. Looks like everybody's coming down pretty regular now. Let's see if these guys still stay out. And they will. I think you might have a safe bet here, unless fuel is going to come into play, because it looks like everybody's pitted for tires is what it seems like, just looking at the way the field's running, and even how loose Schulta and Justin Michael are. Those tires have got to be kind of going away here pretty quick.
Yeah, those tires have got to going away. You're exactly right, but if they can get that neutral slide down to a science, and if they can really ask for grip out of those front tires while at the same time losing grip in your rear tires so your car can rotate around the corner and get a better exit speed, then you can make these tires last a really long time, because a neutral slide is when you are driving the car on the absolute limit. There is no faster that you can go. So, with that being said, if they can do that every single lap, then they are maximizing that tire use, and they are only going to be granted, great field position.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, they're working lap 27 now, so just a couple more laps, and they'll be to that halfway mark where they're probably gonna come down and get those tires. The guys who are on fresh tires really aren't making a terrible lot of ground. Chris Sumard hit it on lap 21. He's still on the lead lap. He's back in 26th right now.
Whoa. And almost getting into the 6 of Wayne Fleet right there. That was not good. That was way too close for comfort.
As everybody's jumping around here. Andrew Schultz still out front. Doesn't look like he's really slowing down either. 56.88 that time. 56.89 for Justin Michael.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the people behind them, 57.23, 57.23, 57.66. Then you start even getting into the 58s for the likes of, you know, Charles Woods there, Paul Krumrie. So, yeah, these guys are managing their tires excellently, you know, down to a T. You know, they saved for the first 19 or 20, and they are really making the grid pay here for the last 10 or 12 laps of their run.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, right now, I'm going to say they have to stay out until they get to that halfway mark. There's no reason for them not to. Christian Bishop still hanging on. Chad Stearns, Mike Fisher, looks like he slowed her down quite a bit. 58.19. Chad Stearns went 56.85. So one of the faster cars on the older tires. Looks like he's going to try and get past Christian Bishop pretty quickly here, as Bishop is running 57.25. So Stearns is closing the gap pretty regular here.
Yeah, 0.4 of a second faster on that lap, and he's got better draft now off Christian Bishop, so he should be able to make it happen pretty easily.
It looks like he's closing in here on his back bumper.
He's going to prep for the overtake, and it's going to be right on time. It's going to be right on time, but unfortunately, I think that was Mike Fisher either scraping the wall or hitting a really nasty bump on that front stretch, I'm so sorry, Christian Bishop is who I meant, but Chad Stearns is going to get the overtake partially done into turn 2. Should have it sealed up. He's entitled to the corner, and Christian Bishop's going to back off a little bit, fall into line, and overtake done for Chad Stearns.
That's a working lap 30 now. If these guys are probably going to try and stay out a couple more laps, I would think.
I wouldn't doubt if they stay out till 33 or 34 even. Maybe even 35. Try to get some track position down, because I mean, these guys are insanely fast for having these older tires.
Yeah, they are not losing much time at all, and as long as they can stay clean, they should be good to go. When these guys hit pit lane, and then we'll take our commercial break. But these guys have been having action almost all over the track right now.
Yeah, and I mean, see it right now on the timing sheets. You've got P9 and P10, Justin T. Wilkinson and Butch Davis there fighting. You've also got Benjamin Wirt fighting for P12 with Chad Simpson. You've got Paul Hoffman fighting for P17 with Charles Woods right now, is actually going to get the overtake done as I speak. Well done on his part. Then you've got Chris Simard here, who is battling up the field. He is hitting daylight now, but in the process of me saying that, was passing the 88 of Paul Krum right there. He's got a decent way up to get to Dennis Fuson, 6.21 seconds. This is the gap there.
It looks like Andrew Schultz and company just put Dustin Burns a lap down. Working lap 32 now. Staying out. Looks like Chad Stearns is working pretty well. Christian Bishop in, Mike Fisher in, Jeff Schmeier, Michael Melfeld, JTW, Jeff Hollinsworth, Chad Simpson, all hit pit lane.
You all hit pit lane. We've got some big jumpers here. We've got Charlie Widener in P4. He has yet to pit, though. Benjamin Ward up 17 positions into P5. He has also yet to pit. Chris Simard is working his way up the leaderboard right now. He is currently P8, and he is on 12-lap old tires. The only issue is I'm pretty sure he pitted too early. And if he did, then that's going to not be very great for him.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to save him is if Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael can make it to, say, lap 40. You know, if they can make it to lap 40, maybe Chris Simard has a chance there.
Yeah, and you know, it's just got to be...
Oh, caution out on track.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Well, it depends on who you are. What in the...
That is a very unlucky yellow flag throw right there.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. That is, well, it depends on how you look at it. It's either a good thing or a really bad thing for Chris Simard.
Oh, well, see, here's the thing. I think it's an incredibly good thing for Chris Simard. You know, obviously, he is on the inferior strategy. I'm sorry to call it now, but he just is. When you pit on lap 21 and you could have gone for a one-stopper at 32, 33, then yeah, it's the inferior strategy. However, he is up to P6 because these drivers have, already pitted. They're back out on track. He climbed up the leaderboard, or the standings board, and now he can pit if he so chooses with the likes of Andrew Schulte, Justin Michael, Charlie Widener, and he can almost use them to get back up to the front, climb back up to the front, because it's going to happen. It's Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael. We're talking about the championship leader and the guy with 2 wins in 5 races this season. So they are going to get back up to the front. If you can just stay behind them and let them bulldoze the rest of the grid for you, then why not do it?
Yeah, that... Andrew Schulte in. See who does, oh, Christian Bishop stays out as he last pitted on 32, so almost perfect timing for Christian Bishop. He'll get back up to the front. Mike Fisher as well.
Yeah, really good for those two guys. People who, well, unfortunately did fall behind because, pitting cycle and just, Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael, they were stretching that run out, almost, they took the right strategy. Christian Bishop, Mike Fisher, Michael Milfeld, they took, the appropriate strategy. But when you've got 2 skilled teammates like Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael stretching out the run like that, it's going to be really hard to beat them. So, very good on their behalf, because now it's almost like the race is at 0. It's a fresh start. Everyone's on fresh tires. It's a fair field. Let's go race for the second half of this. So, Christian Bishop is loving that, because at the start of this race, he was tearing it up.
Yeah, exactly. And there are fast drivers between Bishop and Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael back there. So we'll see how this all shapes up. Christian Bishop will lead them. Looks like we have several drivers taking the wave around, trying to get back on either the lead lap or at least get a lap back. There they go. We'll get stacked up. Christian Bishop down to the inside. Mike Fisher up high. Michael Melfelt Jr. Jeff Schmeier. Schmeier's up 12 spots right now. JTW up 7. Butch Davis in P6. Chad Simpson, Jeff Hollinsworth, Ross Rollins. Andrew Schulte, Justin Michael will start row 5th and 6th here.
Yeah, and it's going to be, they've got their work cut out for them, trying to get back up to this leader here, Christian Bishop. I mean, all three of these guys have shown tremendous pace this race, and Michael Milfield, who we haven't seen a ton of, unfortunately, he's third in the championship right now, so he's got to have pace. So they definitely have their work cut out for him, and this definitely is not going to be a give me or anything. They're going to have to work for this.
Yeah, definitely are. They are stacked up, ready to go. Going from turn 2 to 3 here. We'll see what that 26 Chevy has for the field once again. Pace truck is in. Christian Bishop hits that Geico restart zone. He is down and away. It's a pretty good jump there. Mike Fisher back in second. Michael Melfelt Jr. down to his inside. Jeff Schmeier hanging on there as well. Butch Davis led a couple laps early in the run. We'll see if he's able to do that again.
Yeah, we will see. I think it was lap 2 or 3 maybe that he jumped out to a lead after starting pretty much where he was. He started the race P6, so P5 right now. He might be able to have another good run.
Justin Michael wasted little time to go from the outside down to the inside. Is going to try and make a pass, get up here with Andrew Schulte, and he will. We'll see how these two drivers elect to work their way through the field. Looks like that's Jeff Schmeier down to the inside of Butch Davis, trying to get a couple spots here. And while this is all going on, Christian Bishop is loving it out front.
Yeah, he is, but hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake again and, pushed a little too hard, a little too fast, because that is when Andrew Schulte and Justin Michaels struck and never looked back for that entire first stint there.
Yeah, definitely we have JTW working the high side of Andrew Schulte here. Andrew Schulte hops in behind Hollinsworth there. You guys are all being really respectful, working inside outside, trying to give everybody plenty of room as Andrew Schulte goes to the inside of Hollinsworth. Is going to take that position. Justin Michael going to try and follow him through there as well.
And Hollingsworth almost conceding the position, but no, he doesn't. He actually gets a really good run on the 81 of Andrew Schulte there, and he might be looking for the switchback coming down here into turn 1. I feel like he left Andrew Schulte's back bumper just a little too early, though, and his momentum ended, and yeah, that is not going to be the best situation for Hollingsworth, but he kept his position safe from Justin Michael for the meantime. But Justin Michael is coming down on the inside here, heading into turn 2. He's got up beside him. He is not going to end his momentum early. He is going to swoop down into that inside lane, and they are still side by side coming into turn 3 here. But now you have the 95 of Charles Widener. He is coming in. He is looking to challenge Justin Michael. Does not look like that's going to happen, though, but we remain too wide here between Justin Michael and Jeff Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth, someone who competed for the title last year, and, you know, years before that. Justin Michael challenging for the title this year. And Jeff Hollingsworth is going to be washed up really high on that turn one. And that is Justin Michael's position.
And Justin Michael waited patiently down on the inside, but Hollingsworth didn't really give him the position, but they both raced really respectful side by side for a couple laps there. Widener trying to do the same thing. Chris Simard making his way up behind Hollingsworth there. They have got runs down on the inside, and Hollingsworth is just going to go backwards because he's stuck in that high line, not where he wants to be, as Widener still keeps him up high there. And it's almost the same the same repeat that Justin Michael did for a little bit there.
Yeah, Jeff Hollingsworth, fortunately enough, able to defend just a little better after learning really how to do it with Justin Michael exposing him on the inside there a couple of laps ago. Jeff Hollingsworth is now defending the position really well, but Chris Simard is going to try to make a run here on the inside. Not going to be able to get even remotely close. Jeff Hollingsworth with a lot of corner speed on entry there.
Yeah, nothing really doing there. After Justin Michael went by, Jeff Hollingsworth said, "No, you guys aren't passing me anymore," and he seems to have found a little bit more speed, especially on corner exit. Looks like they get next to him, but just can't close it in. But up front, it is all Christian Bishop right now.
Yeah, and, you know, shifting us in the other direction just a little bit, Brian Barnes, who is currently in P25, just is not able to find the race pace like he did in qualifying. He is out here in what appears to be no man's land, as he just unfortunately cannot run the proper lap times.
Yeah, it looks like he last pitted on lap 25, so these are older tires. He's trying to stay on the lead lap, hoping something happens in front of him. So we'll see how that shakes out. Let's see who else is. Jeff Schmeier up 11 spots. And I know I brought it up earlier too, but Dennis Fuson didn't throw down a qualifying lap at all. Elected to start towards the back of the field. He is now up 21 positions, running P15 right now, and is looking to the inside of Charles Woods to go inside the top 15.
Yeah, and you know, after he gets this overtake done on Charles Woods, if he can get it done, next guy is, you know, race winner Lyle Swearingen. So, you know, if he can get up there to Lyle Swearingen and kind of, you know, race him for one of those spots, then that is Dennis Fuson's stamp on this season. You know, he is here. You know, we see him running in this position all the time, but unfortunately just either kind of collects himself in a caution, or is unfortunately the reason for the caution. Sometimes just, you know, once or twice he's in that position, but, you know, really just bad luck strings on Dennis Fuson a lot, and I really hope that's not the case tonight, because he seems to be in tune with that car.
Yeah, he's able to lead that next pack here. And we talked about Jeff Hollingsworth. He didn't let, but Justin Michael was able to get by him. He has not let another car pass. Chris Simard, Charlie Widener, Ross Rollins all took their shot and all got turned away.
Yeah, Jeff Hollingsworth doing his best Hodor impression right now and just holding the door on these guys, holding it shut, not allowing any easy overtakes to be accomplished on him. He said, "I am in P9 and I am not going backwards. If I'm going anywhere, it is forwards." And so a little bit of shake and bake there from Charlie Widener, a little bit behind. He is very, very high. That was not a good corner from him whatsoever. But he is going to get a run on exit because of how high he went into the corner. So, you know, Lyle Swearingen here, who might be at risk of an overtake from Charlie Widener here. But no, Charlie is going to just fall in line and wait for another day.
Yeah, they are definitely kind of waiting here, but up here they're not really making too many moves, as Andrew Schulte seems to just be kind of taking his time. He got to the inside of Justin T. Wilkinson here and was gonna look for the overtake, but not completely able to get by here. And I don't know that it really helps that Justin Michael looked like he slowed down and tried to get behind JTW there, but they both are able to get around. We'll see if they're able to clear coming off of the corners. Wilkinson gets loose, slides down the track a little bit, but has a run on Michael and is side by side as they go through turn 2 here.
Yeah, and unfortunately JTW carrying just a little too much speed on that inside, so that is going to mess Justin Michael's corner up pretty heavily, as he is currently 0.6 of a second behind his teammate Andrew Schulte. But Andrew Schulte is up there with the pack, so Justin Michael gonna need to get a hurry on, or Andrew Schulte might have to abandon him for this mission.
Yeah, definitely. Butch Davis leading the pack. Michael Melfeld Jr. kind of halfway between the pack and Christian Bishop. Christian Bishop, after that restart, I don't know if it looks like he might have learned a little something, because he didn't go near as fast as he did early this time. He's staying about 56 and a quarter, call it, and he has basically ran that identical lap time almost every time through. So maybe he learned a little something and he's saving those tires a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Christian Bishop, then you cannot ignore the signs. You can't ignore what has happened. That first stint, he was running great for the first 19 laps, and then Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael kind of came and, you know, zoomed by him, and, you know, like you said, like he was standing still. So, yeah, you know, I think he learned a lot about tire degradation throughout that stint, and he has really pulled back on the pushing, and that in turn has granted him a higher lead, or I guess a bigger lead, throughout a longer time here in this stint. But I have it chalked up to around lap 53 or 54 when the 81 and 87 are going to be making their moves.
Yeah, they're just kind of minding their time here. Justin Michael was able to get caught back up after Andrew Schulte tried to take the 35 of Jeff Schmeier on the high side, and it looks like Justin Michael is going to try it too, as Jeff Schmeier is not getting off of that yellow line. He's telling them, if you're going to pass me, you're going to have to either get it on a straightaway and get position, or you're going around.
Yeah, and, you know, well done on the defensive end from Jeff Schmeier there, but unfortunately the run from Justin Michael was just a little too big to move to the inside and defend that position, and he is going to get double overtaken, unfortunately, just really wide into turn 1, you know, not being on the optimal racing line. But Andrew Schulte is getting pulled on from Jeff Schmeier. Jeff Schmeier might be able to close the door before the corner. He is not, and that means Andrew Schulte is through. But Butch Davis, I believe that was
indeed Butch Davis. Let's let's take a look here. I saw it happening. So here they go. Let's see if I can get a... Let's go back. See a little better view here. Actually, let's see if we can go on board here. Got Justin Michael. We'll look at his nose. You can see the 43s are on top of each other there. And 243s just can't be in the same place.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Butch Davis just kind of panicked, whenever that small contact was had. He definitely didn't want to turn him. He definitely didn't want to get into him. But unfortunately, turning turning the steering wheel right there, it bounced him up into the wall, and it just spelled disaster. Ooh.
Yeah, look at Justin Michael just get through. Just barely through. Andrew Schulte just barely through as Butch Davis turned back into the wall.
And man, he almost had it.
He was so
almost
close.
had it.
And JTW. Let's see. He's hoping. Nope.
Yeah, really unfortunate. And if you're JTW there, I feel like you just kind of tap yourself up against the wall and try to ride that out instead of just full on head of steam into him. But hey,
yeah,
if I was in that moment, I'd probably do the same thing.
I think he was thinking he was going to hit the wall and bounce off before he got there, and he just was able to save it and keep it off the wall. So now we're going to be set with, I'm going to say, about 10 laps to go here. And look who came out of the pits on top.
The ultimate revenge tour for Chris Samard. He has gotten 3 pit stops compared to a lot of people's 2. Making the little fluff up on lap 21 there, choosing to pit extremely early. But the caution on lap, whatever it was, 33, 32, 34, something of the sort, that got him back on the right cycle, and, here we go.
Yeah, definitely did. Chris Sumard up front, Lyle Swearingen, last week's winner, looking to go back-to-back. Jeff Schmeier hanging tough in P3. Christian Bishop starts in P4. Michael Melfeld Jr. 5th. Justin Michael, Andrew Schulte 6th and 7th. JTW still P8.
Yeah, with that faster pair, he was able to, get back out on track at the same time as everyone else with a brand new car. So good on him.
Yeah, definitely looks like we have a couple guys hanging out, going to try and take that wave around to get back on the lead lap. And here they go, and it's going to stack up. Christian Bishop is going to go outside. So we got Chris Dumard, Lyle Swearingen in row 1 with Jeff Schmeier and Christian Bishop in row 2. So who are you picking? 11 laps to go.
11 laps to go. Because my racing number is 77, and that's probably my favorite number right now as a young, spry 24-year-old. I think my pick is Chris Samard. I know it's biased, 77 bias, and he's in the front, he's leading. So, if I didn't have to pick Chris Samard, I still like Christian Bishop's chances. I still like him a lot.
Yeah, I think Christian Bishop is sitting in a pretty good position. Lyle Swearingen as well. All these guys up front have proven that they're hard to pass. So I think if Chris Sumard gets a good initial restart, I think he's going to be tough. Christian Bishop, I think he has the ability to work through the couple cars that'll be in front of him. And then you also have Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael sitting back there. I mean, row 3 and row 4. So going to be an interesting finish here with 11 laps to go. see if we can wrap this thing up with some dynamite action here as Chris Samar is going to take them to the Geico restart zone, going to lead them in. And he is down and away. It's a pretty decent run. Lyle Swearingen going to let him slide up in front of him. And they get single file pretty quick due to the top three. Michael Melfeld Jr. down on the inside. Christian Bishop getting hung out to dry here and is fading back. JTW staying on that inside lane, but Justin Michael is going to make quick work of him on the high side, it looks like.
Yeah, making quick work of him, and unfortunately, JTW is slipping back just a tad bit,
and we are
little
under caution as a wreck happened back of the field here, it looks like.
Oh, Mike Fisher.
See. So Dennis Fuson is the 11 car in the middle of the screen. I think everybody's trying to single file. Mike Fisher just runs into him.
Yeah, that is a little unfortunate as 40 Charles Woods gets collected
The
there.
88 gets through, 37 through, 46, 99. The 43 hit the 43 once again.
Yeah, that's
Let's go here and then we'll go here. Riding on board with Charles Woods.
so
Almost
it looks
made it
like
through.
Dennis Fuson just slowed up a little too much for that corner.
Well, let's take.
And not only did he slow up, he also kind of shifted lanes a little bit on corner entry. I think he just set into the corner a little earlier than Mike Fisher was hoping for.
Let's see. There's. I mean, you can see the 11 has a couple dents in that rear bumper anyway here. Yeah, it looks like he does kind of come down just a little bit, but that just slows up just enough. Sends him through. 28 barely makes it through. The 88 slides around. The 37 through. 46, 42, 99. And 43 just comes in. Little love tap there to the 43 Mike Fisher. So here we go again.
Yeah, and ideally this will be the last restart of the race.
Yes, it will be. We got, we'll have, I'm going to say we're probably going to wind up with 6 laps to go. Once they get all locked in here. 7 at the most. It's going to be a pretty quick shootout here. Chris Samard, if he gets a good restart, he's going to be hard to beat. Lyle Swearingen is going to get stuck in that high line, and if he doesn't get going at least fast enough to get in front of Lyle Melfeld Jr. there, it's going to be hard for him to maintain his position there.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Christian Bishop is going to be starting second row on the high side. So if he can stay with Swearingen and is able to get by Melfeld Jr., it'll be a lot easier than it was the last time. Oh, that's right. I bet it's a single file restart.
Ah, yes.
They weren't able to complete one lap, so it's single file. So that's even going to make it that much better for Chris Simard. So it'll be 7 laps. 7 laps of green flag racing to close out the Western States Racing League from Pocono here.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get flashbacks of last week here to close out the race. That would not be the greatest.
Well, good news, we got plenty of time.
Yeah, that is a good point.
We got 3 green-white checkers. Hopefully we don't need those. Hopefully go green flag racing for 7 green flag laps. That's what all these drivers up front want to see. We'll see if Chris Simard can bring home the victory here as he hits that restart zone. Doesn't really have to worry about a restart as Lyle Swearingen is going to stay right with him. Michael Melfeld Jr., Christian Bishop, and Justin Michael immediately goes down and gets by JTW there. JTW's clear out almost into the wall. Justin Michael, Christian Bishop are going to be battling. Ross Rollins gets a little loose. Is that little neutral slide, little drift in there coming out of 2. JTW gives Justin Michael a shot there. It sends him up the track.
Yeah, really aggressive driving here from JTW, and I like to see it. You see him be pretty passive in these late race situations a lot, and it cost him positions, but going for the throat of Justin Michael here late in the race, I like the confidence from him.
Yeah, definitely. He's trying to do everything he can. 6 laps to go. Michael Melfeld Jr. down to the inside, going to see if he can get past Lyle Swearingen. Swearingen makes a mistake, floats up the track. We'll see how this works coming off of the corner. Melfeld Jr. stays down low. And just behind them, Justin Michael is all over Christian Bishop, going to try and make this pass. Coming down the straightaway.
And Lyle Swearingen, after messing up the turn 1, using his momentum that you would get from running that high line to secure the position still, he did not let Michael Melfeld overtake him. That was really well done by Lyle Swearingen.
Yeah, I thought that mistake was going to cost him, and it didn't. So, still looking good for him. 5 laps to go. Christian Bishop in 5th. Justin Michael inside outside trying to find some more speed in that 87 Toyota.
Yeah, unfortunately, Andrew Schultz's pace has kind of dwindled a little bit here. Not able to get up to his partner and teammate Justin Michael there. He is stuck behind JTW with a pretty decently sized gap, 0.47 seconds. To who is now Christian Bishop, because JTW got the overtake on Christian Bishop into the top 5. Michael Melfeld Jr. is taped to Justin Michael. Well, as soon as I say that, he backs off, but was taped to the rear bumper of Justin Michael there.
Yeah, he was not going anywhere as Justin T. Wilkinson gets into that outside wall. Everybody dives everywhere to avoid him. We stay green. Christian Bishop is going to get overtaken by Andrew Schulte, probably coming through 1 here. Ross Rollins is going to try as well. Yeah, Ross Rollins sliding up almost into Christian Bishop.
Well done, wheel-to-wheel racing there. Making sure nobody got hurt.
Definitely as they hang around here. Justin Michael almost sideways coming off the corner. Able to get the car back underneath him. And this is kind of what Chris Simard wants to see. He is out here basically running away with the race and leaving Lyle Swearingen to kind of do the dirty work back here in second.
Yeah, and Lyle Swearingen is basically playing guard dog unintentionally for Chris Simard. You know, obviously he doesn't want anybody passing him for P2, but with them battling for that P2 position, Chris Simard can just extend this lead, and he can really get out and let that car really feel that track and put the grip down and really push.
Justin Michael to the inside of Swearingen. Side by side still. Still there. Looks like he's not quite clear even down the front stretch here. Swearingen is just battling tough right there on the high side.
Yeah, 2 to go, and it looks like these guys are going to be battling it out. But hey, look who is coming in. Andrew Schulte in that 81. I don't know how he's done it, but he has done it. He is just, it's almost like he teleported. He is here and looking to give some last lap assistance to his teammate potentially, but he gets the position on Lyle Swearingen. But Lyle Swearingen going to go down to the inside. Justin Michael with a little late of a set into that corner, but no harm, no foul. They keep racing. That was extremely aggressive from Justin Michael. That's what you like to see. And Lyle Swearingen is not going to have the most of momentums down that second straight.
No, he is not. He lost that momentum, and now Andrew Schulte is looking to pounce, as well as Michael Melfeld Jr. was looking to kind of get around Ross Rollins there. But Chris Simard, final lap, has almost a second lead over Justin Michael right now. Lyle Swearingen runs high and is going to stay basically out of the way as he slides down in front of Melfeld Jr.
Yeah, but that's going to be a big run on Andrew Schulte. Andrew Schulte playing the defensive line there. Really good at concealing that run that Lyle Swearingen had. He's just going to tuck to the inside, make him get it done the long way around, and he is not going to be able to do it. Justin Michael is in the wall, though. If Andrew Schulte wanted to, he could maybe pounce on this, but yeah, coming around turn 3. Chris Simard in the number 77 Chevrolet is going to take the win here at virtual Pocono Raceway.
Justin Michael up for second. Andrew Schulte in third. Lyle Swearingen fourth. Ross Rollins brings home a top 5.
Yeah, really good run out of Ross Rollins. He needed that. Continuing to prove that consistency is key.
Now Chris Simard gonna take his victory here. We'll see what he's gonna see what that points lead is going to do. He was 10 points behind Andrew Schulte, so we'll see if that's going to see how close that's going to bring him. Melfeld Jr. not too far behind Justin Michael as well, so all those guys finishing in the top 3 is going to bring that points battle closer and closer.
These guys, as always, having a lot of fun here in the start-finish line straight.
Oh, definitely. Let's see if we can get these guys up here. Hey, Mac, while who do you want to start with?
You know, we'll go with third place.
All right.
Hey, Andrew, Mac up here in the booth, man. How are you feeling after that race?
We're just happy to be sitting on the podium, I guess. I mean, that first caution came out at the complete wrong time and set us back as far as pit strategy goes. We had gone back a little bit, and I just had a terrible restart on one of the restarts, lost a bunch more spots, was battling hard with Ross Rawlings there and got real loose underneath him, lost more spots. It was coming over adversity in the second half. I went from thinking that we had the race in the bag up until the pit started, and then was just trying to come up with anything that we could at the end there. And thankfully we made it back to P3, but it was a battle getting back there.
Yeah, and you know, you head to Iowa next week in the Xfinities after showing that you did indeed have the supreme strategy if it were to go green. Is that something you're looking to implement into next week?
Hoping to. I mean, strategy is always, I mean, there really is no strategy. It's just keeping the tires on it, and hopefully we're getting a long run. Feel like we do a pretty decent job at keeping the tires on her and having some better long run speed. I didn't really have anything short run speed tonight. There were a lot of guys who were quick that ways, and I didn't set up the brakes to handle a short run speed or really practice a short run speed. So we struggled a bit there with the cautions. And I mean, with Iowa, I mean, who knows? It could be anything. The last couple of weeks have kind of proved that as far as cautions and when they're going to fall and how many we're going to get. So it will be interesting to see once we get there.
It's definitely going to be interesting. I don't think anybody has to argue against you on that end, but you know, you drove it home to P3 tonight. Who do you have to thank for the performance?
Shout out to Patented Paints. Shout out Bandit Motorsports teammates. Justin did a good job too, getting through traffic there and getting back up to P2. I know the last time that we were here, me and him were able to finish 1 and 2. So want to say congrats to Chris for beating us on that. Obviously he had the best call there with a 2-tire stop when a lot of us took 4, and passing was real hard. So that was something that I kind of thought about, but didn't know how bad our left side tires were going to be. So congrats to him, and hopefully you guys enjoyed watching, enjoyed broadcasting, and hopefully everyone out there watching enjoyed it.
Well, enjoyed it is definitely something that we did. And, you know, enjoy your night, Andrew. P3.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Justin, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you all?
Not too bad. Heck of a run there at the end. Looks like you and Andrew had the race pretty much strategized almost perfect, and then that first caution came out and made you go back to the drawing board. How was it racing out there?
Your racing was really close and really clean this weekend. I don't know, the yellow there in the middle of the race did set us back some, but it was the yellow at the end of the race I think that really screwed us over, because I think we would have got past all those guys. I think I was even in third, I think right when the yellow came out. So we would have, I think, got back up there to get them. We had really good long run cars, and as you can tell, we didn't have good short run cars because we couldn't get back up after that late wreck.
Yeah, definitely. We kind of noticed you guys kind of We didn't know if it was more of a tire conservation strategy or what, but it seemed about 20 laps in, you guys just your cars came to life and you were able to make any pass that you wanted on track.
Yeah, this setup is weird. It starts out super loose and ends super tight, and you just got to take care of your right front tire, throughout the whole run. And if you do, it's gonna really benefit you the last 10, 15 laps.
Well, I do have a question. How close were you to running out of fuel when that caution came out the first time?
I had another 2 laps left. That was fun.
Oh, just a couple. Okay. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's got to be pretty close to halfway, but yeah, you guys had that strategy knocked out. Another podium, looking good for the championship once the drop weeks kick in. Anything else you want to say? Any sponsor shout outs or anything before we let you go on your P2 finish here?
Just you guys for calling a great race, Bob, for putting on a great leg. We always appreciate that. And I know you guys have a YouTube channel, but I have a Twitch channel, Floorboard Deep. We always stream almost every race we run. So we definitely appreciate the people watching out there and hitting that follow button. Trying to get my average viewers up per race. So, but yeah, it was a fun race this week. Hopefully we can do it again next week.
Sounds like a plan. Talk to you later, Justin.
Oh, and I always got to thank Bandit Motorsports. Sorry, I always forget. So Andrew's a great teammate, and Bandit's a good group of guys. So we appreciate it. We'll shut up now, and you guys have a good one.
All right, talk to you later. Let's see if we can get the happiest guy here in the booth with you, Mac.
Chris and Mard, Mac up in the booth here, man. How are you doing?
I am excellent. How are you guys?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing really good, actually, because I wanted to be on record. And you can go back and watch it if you don't believe me. Mike asked me who I thought was going to win the race when that second caution, I believe, came out. And I said you. I just want to let you know right now, I said you. So, I feel pretty good. My prediction is correct.
Well, I'm glad it came true, and I'm glad I didn't hear it, because usually when something like that happens, something bad happens to me. So I'm glad I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, well, you got your first win here tonight. Yeah, in this season. You've gotten 4 top 5s already, 5 top 10s. Did you feel like the win was coming sooner than later?
I felt like it at some point. There's a ton of fast guys, so you never know. But I felt like if I kept getting finishes the way I have been, it would come. But I didn't think it was tonight. I took 2 tires, and I didn't think I was going to hold them off. But I got to thank my teammate Lyle. He held them off enough for me to get out front enough to get to the finish line. So I thank him for that. I'll give him 50% of the win tonight. So.
Well, that is good. And, off a win like this, you head to Iowa next week. Do you like that track? Do you think the pace that you got here tonight is going to transfer over to Iowa?
It's a whole different animal. I mean, it's a short track compared to Pocono, but I like short tracks. You just got to stay out of trouble at short tracks. You usually get into situations where you don't want to with lap cars and stuff, and it makes it hard. But it's certainly a fun track to run. I like that track. So.
Well, you've got a week to prepare for it, but for right now, I'm going to give you the floor. Who do you have to thank for the performance tonight?
I would like to thank FBR Sim Rig Accessories Creation Studio. I said that right this time. I'm not going to get made fun of, but all my teammates in FBR, they help me out a lot. They help me out big time, and I thank them all. Thank them all. My wife and son, and I really can't think of anyone else. You guys up in the booth, you guys do a great job. I love going back and watching the races. So.
Well, that is great to hear, but we are going to let you celebrate the win, celebrate it in style, do what you got to do, man. Chris Simard, your race winner here at Pocono.
Thank you, fellas. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man.
So talk about a bounce back race. These guys put on a show tonight. I think we wound up with 3 or 4 cautions, but overall clean racing, side by side, battling it for every position here tonight. What'd you think of the race before we go through the grid and close it up?
You know, I thought it was a good race. I thought we saw exactly what I thought we were going to see, and that is just wheel-to-wheel racing in all of these corners. You know, there's only 3 chances. You know, most of the time you've got 2 chances on any oval, but here you've got 3, so it promotes that aggressive driving. It promotes that offensive, you know, overtake heavy drive, and we saw it a lot tonight, and it was a very fun race to watch.
Yeah, it definitely was. Let's go through the race results here from Pocono. We heard from Chris Simard, Justin Michael, and Andrew Schulte. Chris Simard throwing a lot of praise to Lyle Swearingen, who finished 4th. Ross Rollins back in 5th. Michael Milfeld Jr. 6th. Christian Bishop, Jeff Hollinsworth, Bob Beltrami, Ryan Still round out that top 10. Go back to Justin T. Wilkinson, Charlie Widener, Wayne Hutchinson, William Fletcher, Chad Simpson, Paul Kermerai, Benjamin Wirt, and Paul Hoffman.
Yeah, and then, you know, showing love to, you know, the back half of the grid, you know, we got to do it. You know, 19, Charles Woods, and then 20th on is going to be Dennis Fuson, Wayne Fleet, Barry Phil, Keith Kelman, David Wood, Earl Weaver, Dan Brazington, Jeff Schmeier, Brian Barnes, Butch Davis, Mike Fisher, David Weaver, Dustin Burns, Chad Stearns, Carl Burke, Angelo Espo, Fred Williams, Alan Bergen, and Anthony Rayner. Those last 3 did not take the field.
Yeah, definitely did not. But of the drivers who did, they put on a heck of a race. Congrats again to Chris Simard. And from all the drivers here of the Western States Racing League, we're glad you stuck around and joined us here on YouTube. And we'll be back next week, like you said, at Iowa. We'll see what these guys can do once again in the Xfinity cars before they take a week off. But from all the drivers of the Western States Racing League and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Have a good night, and we'll see you again next time.